About 85 laps. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Doing all right. How you doing?
Okay.
Doing all right. How you doing?
Okay.
Sure. Sure. Okay. No, no, no. That's fine. No worries. This stuff happens sometimes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Okay. That's fine. Yeah.
Sure thing.
Kill for hire, soldier of fortune. Gotta walk through a fire for what's important. And the warrior's blood through your veins is coursing.
He goes outside. He's got Ledford with him. Chris Blassie is going to win it at the line here at Daytona.
Every move, take your shot, don't be a fool. All you got and all you ever need is one bullet in the chamber. Please take your aim. Ain't nobody gonna save you. So what you gonna do? One bullet in the chamber. Really needs to take your aim, boy. Ain't nobody gonna save you. So what you gonna do? Now the whole world's watching every move. Take your shot, don't act the fool. All you got and all you ever
He's going to
need.
drive up into him. Can Coots hang on to it off the corner? Coots gets it.
It's one bullet in the chamber. Really needs to take your aim, boy. Ain't nobody gonna save you. So what
Drivers side by side, coming out of turn 4, Rap with the 52 on the outside, the 99 to the inside. Rap's gonna win it at Auto Club.
So what you gonna do?
If it's Tuesday, that means it's the Apex Energy Truck Series presented by Hank Thomas Performance from Slingshot Racing League. Welcome, everybody. I'm Ellis Thomas, joined in the booth tonight by Chris Smith and Josh King. We're bringing you live racing action in the NASCAR trucks from Iowa Speedway for the Stage Break Podcast 150. In the heartland of America, where the fields of corn stretch endlessly to the horizon, there lies a marvel of speed and spectacle. The Iowa Speedway playing host to Slingshot Racing League's first short track race of the season. Crafted by the skilled hands and racer of Rusty Wallace, the Iowa Speedway opened its gates in 2006, a creation inspired by the echoes of success, resonating from Richmond Raceway, where Wallace had etched his own legacy. Over the years, the tarmac in Newton, Iowa has witnessed the thunderous echoes of all-time racing greats. Dario Franchitti, Joseph Newgarden on the open wheel side, while Kyle Busch and Ryan Blaney have won multiple races on the stock car side. Yet as fate would have it, Iowa found itself at a crossroads during the tumultuous days of the COVID-19 pandemic. The threat of closure loomed large, casting a shadow over the roar of engines and the cheers of the faithful. But then came a silver lining. A partnership forged between Roger Penske and Hy-Vee breathed new life into the track. Now, on the cusp of 2 decades of dreams, the Iowa Speedway is poised on the precipice of its own history. June of this year will forever etch its name, Iowa, into racing lore as it hosts its first Cup Series weekend for Cup Series drivers, Truck Series drivers, as well as the Xfinity Series will be racing there. Josh, we'll just start with you here in a moment, but fun fact about Iowa Speedway that many fans might not know, it's the first track to install the now standard safer barrier around its entire perimeter to help ensure the safety of drivers on impact during crashes. However, I can't miss the chance at corn puns tonight. Josh, I got a quick question/riddle for you. Why did the corn get mad at the farmer? Give me just a second. I'm going to have to add you in here. We're, folks, in case you haven't noticed, it's a one-man booth tonight, kind of. Chris is absent due to some internet issues, unfortunately out of our control. So we're working kind of a short staff. I'm working to get Josh's audio uploaded here. Just give me one moment. Give me 1 second, Josh. All right, we're going to work on bringing Josh back here shortly into the booth. Hey, but the answer to that question, why the corn get mad at the farmer, because he kept pulling its ears. I know it's a corn joke. While there might not be any physical ear pulling here tonight, tempers are likely going to flare as we race at our first short track of the season. We're going to find out here in a little bit what drivers are going to need to do to make sure they don't fall victim to any conundrums as they take on a maze of challenges tonight here in Iowa. I know I couldn't avoid those corn puns. We're going to get back to the race here in a minute as we get a couple of technical difficulties sorted out on our end. But for now, we're going to go ahead and head to a Slingshot Racing League fan favorite pre-race tradition, the National Anthem. We'll go ahead and hit that up, and we'll be back on the other side. Back here at Iowa Speedway for the Stage Break Podcast 150. I'm Ellis Thomas, joined in the booth by, for just a few moments here shortly, we're going to hear from Josh King, the host of the Stage Break Podcast. Right now, drivers are making their qualifying laps around the track. Just about a minute left in qualifying. As we mentioned in pre-race, this is the first short track race of the season here for Slingshot Racing League. So we're expecting to see these drivers kind of on edge in a way we haven't seen them in our first two races at Auto Club Speedway and Pocono Speedway last week. So drivers are going to be getting after it pretty fast and early here in just a moment. About 30 seconds left in qualifying. While that time is elapsing, before we hit the grid, we're going to try to get our audio working correctly. Give us just one moment, and we'll be back in a second. All right, so qualifying is in the books here for Slingshot Racing League. Get a couple things pulled up, our timing screen ready to go. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the starting grid. Actually, drivers do have a short warm-up. That's a new addition for Slingshot Racing this season. Folks, if you're in the chat right now, I know it's hideous. Look away. But we hope you'll continue to watch. We mentioned technical difficulties, internet outages still continuing. So I'm a single-man booth. We're running it from one computer tonight. So we're doing our absolute best job. We're going to hit the pause button real quick while drivers have their warm-up. And then we'll go over the starting grid for the race. And hopefully we'll have live racing action without interruption for you from that point forward. Give us just a moment. Josh, can you give me a level check real quick on your end?
Sure. Sound check. 1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, I think we got you now. So that is good to hear. Josh King joining us in the broadcast booth. You can see that Stage Break Podcast logo down on the bottom right hand of the screen. Josh, it's good to have you. We appreciate you coming on board for this race. I know this is our third race of the season for the Slingshot Racing League, but we're getting ready for the first race of the NASCAR Cup Series season, the Clash. You have a podcast that comes out weekly during the regular season for the NASCAR Cup Series. Tell us a little bit about what that podcast is all about.
Yeah, well, I wanted to start a NASCAR podcast, and one of the things that I noticed was most podcasts are at least an hour, sometimes two. And I don't know about anyone else that's listening to this broadcast, but I just don't have that much time to sit down and listen to a NASCAR podcast, although I would love to if I could. So I thought, well, let's start a podcast that kind of gets people the information they need, but in a time frame that they can afford. And the Stage Break Podcast was born. So we're just really hitting the highlights, major headlines, news stories, interesting stories, whatever the case may be. Maybe looking back on something polarizing that happened at the week before, something dramatic or whatever, just, news stories, things that are interesting for race fans, and breaking that down in, just small time frames that, someone can listen to while they're on their way to work or doing some work around the house, whatever. So, that's basically what we're doing, and we try to do it each and every week, and that should be starting this Friday.
Sorry, I'm back live. My mic wasn't working, but we're excited to listen to the podcast. I know last podcast episode you had Bob Pockris, major NASCAR reporter, on. So you've got some really cool stuff. We're excited to listen to the newest episode coming out this Friday in preparation for the Clash. What are your expectations for what we might see out of the trucks tonight here at Iowa, based maybe a little bit on what we've seen in the past from truck races at Iowa Speedway here?
Yeah, I mean, the thing that I know I've done some iRacing with the trucks, and just in general, you see in the real world is they just, power is not obviously what the Xfinity or the Cup cars are. And so these trucks can easily lose momentum, and it's so hard to get it back. So I think, the people that do well in this race here tonight are going to be those that can be really smooth on their inputs, can get through the corners really well, and keep their momentum up. And I think something, just watching the pre-race, watching these guys warm up and practice, seeing cars all over the track run in different lines. The cool thing about Iowa is we have this progressive banking. So it allows for some of that, drivers to look around for grip, and depending on how their truck is handling, they can, find a line that suits them a little bit better than another. But I think keeping the rear tires underneath them is going to be a big challenge. It is a short track. But it's one that is fairly, pretty flat, kind of like a cornfield kind of flat out in Iowa. There's just not a lot of banking to dig into. So tire management, not burning up those rear tires is going to be pretty important to these guys here tonight.
Man, I think you're absolutely right. Not burning up those rear tires, grip on exit, definitely going to be a challenge for these drivers moving forward tonight. Speaking of moving forward, I know everyone's going to be looking forward to moving forward once the green flag comes out. Josh, we're going to keep you on for a few minutes. We're going to talk about what we can expect out of the Real Life Cup Series race here coming up this summer. But now we're going to go ahead and get to the starting grid. And on the pole tonight, it's going to be Scotty Sobczak. He is your pole winner for the Stage Break Podcast 150. I'm going to try to make sure our ticker is working. Give me just 1 second. Oh, maybe. There it is. Okay, so we've got Scotty Sobczak, who's going to be starting on the pole tonight. He is going to enter himself in to win an Evan Pienta Designs paint scheme if he can get the most poles on the season. Aaron Smith, last week's winner at Pocono, going to be starting second. Johnny Rapp in that 52 truck, going to be starting third. Randy Bechtel going to be starting fourth on his outside. I feel like Randy Bechtel is definitely close to a win this season. Jacob Bradley and Chase Berry starting, actually Evan Pienta and Jacob Bradley starting on row 3. Row 4 is going to be Chase Berry and Rye Jones. Thomas Kuna and Dustin Scruggs going to be bringing in row number 5. We're going to let the rest of those ticker starting positions scroll across the screen. Going to try to make sure everything's working so we can bring you the green flag in the best way possible. Lee Campbell, pretty good qualifying effort for him. Several drivers going to have their work cut out for them as we get ready for this start. Looking like we've got 31 cars starting tonight. Nick DeCesare starting tail end of the field. He's going to have his work cut out for him, but all eyes here going to be on Scotty Sobczak as we get ready to take the green. Pace car is going to be making its way down pit road here. Sobczak, that red, white, and blue car. Aaron Smith, that yellow and black machine with Hank Thomas Performance on the hood. We are live racing here in Iowa. Sobczak's going to lead him down on the inside, down into turn number 1. Aaron Smith on the outside. Johnny Rapp a little bit loose off the corner. Randy Bechtel slides into the 4th position. He's going to be looking to make his way forward pretty quick. Evan Pienta, Jacob Bradley also battling there back in 5th and 6th position. Scotty Sobczak on the inside. Aaron Smith not going away in that Hank Thomas Performance machine. He's making that outside work. Josh, one of the things we mentioned, you had mentioned earlier, was just how these drivers are going to have to be careful getting loose off the corner. We're still going to be keeping an eye on both of these drivers as they make their way off of turn 4. Right now, we are 3 laps, 2 laps in the book on the 3rd lap now. New fastest lap there on the track. You can see it from Aaron Smith. He takes a clear lead. Now out about 3 or 4 car lengths from Scotty Sobczak. Aaron Smith is scored as your leader. Looking through the field to see some other things maybe going on. Brady Floyd, I'm watching that number 53 car. He has worked his way up 4 positions so far, just within 2 or 3 laps. So that 53 car, who struggled a little bit in the first 2 races of the season, is going to be looking to get redemption here with the top 10 finish or better tonight, sitting in the 12th position after starting 16th. Really good job for him right now. Randy Bechtel and Jacob Bradley. Right now, this is a battle for the 4th position going on between the 51 and the 50. Jacob Bradley running a slightly different line than his Payday Racing teammate Bechtel. Both of these drivers working on chasing down Johnny Rapp, who sits in front of them. You can see Jacob Bradley working his way really high. Jacob Bradley, last season's Apex Energy Series champion in the Xfinity cars, really hasn't found the momentum I think that he had last season in these trucks. Those Xfinity cars suited him really well. Had really just an amazing season, one of the better seasons we've seen in Slingshot Racing League in 5 seasons, now 6, and he's looking to get back on track tonight in that number 50 truck. Losing a little bit of ground to Randy Bechtel, but Jacob Bradley right now, a student at in Indiana, the university I'm drawing a little bit of a blank on right now, but Jacob Bradley, you can see some of the information on him. Started in 6th. He's moved up to 5th position so far, so he'll be looking to advance on that a little more as the night goes on. Just looking at some other battles. Brady Floyd closed back up on the back of Thomas Coonan here. This is a battle for the 9th position. So Brady Floyd really running some of the faster times we've seen all night long. Just in 8 laps now here from Iowa. We're still caution-free in the Stage Break Podcast 150. You watch Floyd make that inside pass on Thomas Coonan. The 86 forces the issue. That 53 truck was up the track just a little bit there. Floyd going to have to be careful if he's going to make that pass again. I think he might take a breather and collect his thoughts. He's now got Dustin Scruggs in that number 11 backed up to his back bumper. Scruggs going to see what he can do after a really strong finish. Finished second at Auto Club in our opener. He missed Pocono. Scruggs now 3 wide. I believe that's going to be Justin Wilson, who started further back in the 13th position than we're used to seeing Justin Wilson start. Justin Wilson looking to come through the field. Maybe Iowa not his forte of tracks, but if there's a guy who can make something run and a great run materialize over the course of a long race, Justin Wilson, who we're looking at right now in that number 53, that is your guy. He's got Patrick Colby just about a car link or a trucks link back, fighting now for the 12th position. Things kind of sorting out on the track right now. Try to give you some different camera views. Trying to work multiple things at one time. I promise I'll try not to mention that too much over the course of the evening. Just trying to make myself feel better. But we're doing the best job we can for you folks right now. And hey, we got about 9 laps left before lap 20, which means you still have time to go to our social media pages on either Facebook or Instagram and enter your top 5 guesses for the night. Who do you think is going to finish top 5? We're going to try to put that graphic up on the screen right now. All you have to do is go guess the top 5 finishers. If you guess them correctly, you could win $15. That prize should be $15 tonight. Each week we don't have a winner. We will go ahead and raise the prize pot by $5. No winner last week means someone can win $15 this week. All you have to do is go to the Facebook or social Instagram page for Slingshot Racing League. You got about 7 laps left to do it. It's the post from Monday. That is yesterday. So we'll take a second here. Pull this grid back up. Aaron Smith still your leader out in first place. He stretched a bit of a lead over Scotty Sobczak, but there's a close battle going on right now between Rye Jones and Evan Pietro. Slides up the track in front of Jones. We came to this just at the right moment. Jones is going to dash down to the inside. That driver out of Florida looking to move up to 6th position after starting 8th. He almost crosses the nose of Evan Pietro there, coming out of turn 2 here at Iowa. Still 15 laps in the book of 150 laps tonight. Caution free for now. The 91 pulls the crossover on Evan Pietro. Close call between those two drivers right now. That is a battle for the 6th and 7th position. Evan Pietro trying to get back up to 6th position right now. Looking further through the field, see if we've got any other battles developing. Randy Bechtel has closed up on the back of Johnny Rapp. This is a battle for the 3rd position. I know we've got some Rap fans in the chat right now. Speaking of the chat, let us know if you are here. Say hi in the chat. Root me on with some words of encouragement. Root your favorite driver on with some words of encouragement. Every person who enters the chat tonight, whether it's a big comment or a little comment, is going to be entered in to win a Chase Elliott 164th Patriotic diecast. I know we got some Chase Elliott fans probably listening in the chat right now. Let us know you're here, and let us know you want to win that diecast. Let us know who you're rooting on in the race tonight. Thomas Coonan checking in with him real quick. He started 9th. He's back to 13th, working on the back bumper of Josh Ward for 12th position. Coonan had a run-in with Ward last week at Pocono. Actually, that was Tony Caputo he had a run-in with. Looking to get back on track right now. Doing a pretty solid job as the driver of that Street Limit number 86 truck. Shown some speed this season. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him in the top 5 before the end of the evening. Had some pretty fast practice laps as well. So right now, things look like they might have slowed down just a little bit. Go ahead with a little bit of an onboard here, or a helicopter view, I should say, of this battle between Patrick Colby on the inside in that teal blue truck and Josh Ward with the darker blue truck, who's going to get the momentum and make that pass for 11th position off that corner. Going to go ahead and see if we can talk a little bit more about the Stage Break podcast. But before we do that, we're going to take a quick break, and we are going to hear all about the Stage Break podcast with a short video ad. We will be back before you know it. Lap 21 of 150 here at Iowa for the Apex Energy Truck Series presented by Hank Thomas Performance is in the books. We'll be back in a moment.
How's it going, everybody? My name is Josh, and I'm the host of the Stage Break podcast. Each and every week, we cover the NASCAR Cup Series, but we do so in a time frame that you can afford. We talk about major headlines, interesting stories, race and strategy insights that might be helpful to you as you watch the NASCAR Cup races each and every weekend. You can find additional information about the show at thestagebreakpodcast.com. There you'll find links to everything that we have to offer. So what are you waiting for? Be sure to go check it out. Again, my name is Josh, and I'll catch you at the next episode of The Stage Break.
Back here from Iowa Speedway, lap 24 of 150 in the books, now on lap 25. You just heard from the Stage Break podcast. We've got Josh King, who you saw in that ad, in the booth tonight, talking a little bit about what that podcast is all about. Josh, I'm a little bit curious about what your predictions are. We've got the Clash coming up in real life for the NASCAR Cup Series this weekend at the Los Angeles Coliseum. I am curious as to kind of what maybe your expectations for that race are, as well as maybe what your expectations for the season as a whole are.
Yeah, looking forward to the Clash. There was someone I was talking to recently on our Discord channel, and they're saying, "Are you excited for the season to get back going? What are your predictions for the Clash?" And I said, honestly, I don't have a clue what's about to happen. I just want to hear those engines humming, and that's kind of, I think, all of our hearts right now. We just want to get back to the racing season. But man, I heard on Sirius XM radio, I think it was today or yesterday, just talking about Ryan Preece from last year. I think Tyler Reddick, Ryan Preece had the issue. Tyler Reddick, I think, had an issue. I honestly, I think it's a toss-up. It's just such a unique track, being so short. It's so awesome that it's inside of a stadium, and the Coliseum at that, called the Coliseum. That's a really neat venue to be able to go to. And I mean, these guys are professionals. Any one of them could come out there and storm the field and take it by force. Now, I don't think the rest of the field is going to let them just walk away with it, like we saw at the All-Star race last year with Kyle Larson there at North Wilkesboro. But because they've been here before, there's a little bit of context to it, a little bit of information, and it's short enough that you just can't get away from the other guys. So it's not going to be easy, but it's definitely going to be entertaining.
Yeah, I think entertaining is definitely the word to describe what we're going to see over the course of the Clash here. I think fans are kind of mixed on it. You either love it or you hate it. And I'm definitely excited to watch. I'm excited for the Cup season. Before we let you go here shortly, do you have any kind of predictions about what we can expect during this Cup season? Any maybe championship favorites? Any predictions we can make early on here?
At this point, I don't. I've got my eyes on some people, but I wouldn't necessarily call them a prediction. And that's actually something that I don't do a whole lot of. I'll kind of make some, ones to watch. Some maybe drivers that, based on the statistics, should do well from the past events that they've run there. And sometimes some storyline drivers, guys that I don't necessarily think are going to come out there and put on a show and win the race, but may go from running 20th each week to maybe getting top 10 based on some momentum or whatever. And so I often don't actually just kind of make a big, bold prediction like that. But some ones that for me to keep an eye on, I'm curious about Legacy Motor Club this season, just from all the changes that they've made, going from a team that is kind of, I think you look at their statistics, kind of subpar a little bit, but I think they have a lot in store, and I'd be interested to see how they handle all the adjustments that are being made this during the off season. Switching manufacturers, the driver lineup. They have some new hires that they're working with, so I'm curious to see how they do. I think your front runners, the Trackhouse, Hendrick Motorsports, Penske. I think Joe Gibbs Racing. I think all those guys are, and all those teams. I think they're all going to do great. I think they're going to be strong as usual. The thing I'm curious about is who's going to step up and stand toe to toe with them, and we'll have to get into the season to see who that's going to be.
I'm definitely curious about who might go toe-to-toe with these guys. I think it's going to be a really good season. I'm looking forward to it. Remind us one more time how we can find that podcast and find that newest episode that's going to be dropping here in just a couple of days on Friday.
Yeah, the easiest way to find everything that we have to offer is to go to our website. TheStageBreakPodcast.com is where you can find all the information of everything that we've got. And there's also a player there on the website if that's most convenient for you. If you use Spotify or Apple Podcasts or YouTube Music, Google Podcasts is kind of going by the wayside this year here really soon. So if you use that, you're going to be looking for something else anyway. I'm on all of those, and you can subscribe to them there. And that'd be all the links to those things are on my website. So if you go there, you can probably find an easy way for you to get access to the show. And the website also has an app version that you can download to your phone that may work a little bit better than pulling up a web browser each and every time.
We're really looking forward to this podcast. Can't wait. We'll be following it closely. And, man, stick around if you like. I'm going to get back to calling the action, though. I know we'll be playing your ad a little bit later on the race, just to remind fans about that podcast. And we couldn't be more proud to have you on board. So, Josh King, man, thanks for turning out tonight.
Yeah, and super thankful to be here. I'm glad I was able to do it. And, Judge, I appreciate your corny jokes from the from the comments
no
section.
pun intended.
It seems like
right?
These viewers are really digging it, and in my opinion, they're pretty impeccable.
Hey, I see what you did there. Little hens eating pecks of corn. Peck of corn. Okay.
I couldn't let you have them all to yourself.
No.
I needed to get in there a little bit. So.
Yeah, that was good. I appreciate it. You definitely worked a. I can't think of any more corn jokes, but man, I appreciate you. And like I said, you're welcome to stick around. But we're gonna get back to calling some of the action here.
All right. Have a good race, guys.
You too. All right, so you heard there from Josh King in the Stage Break Podcast. Going to get the volume cranked up for a little bit. Let us know in the chat, is my audio volume for iRacing okay? I know we're working through some technical slowdowns here, just lots going on right now. You've been watching some of this live racing action right now. You're looking at a battle for the 10th and 11th, 12th, 13th position. Several cars on top of each other right now. Wesley Pistol, Patrick Colby, Jay Leach in that 22 having a good run tonight. Ryan Hinkle back there as well, battling Scott Tompkins. These drivers are going at it right now, side by side, multiple drivers side by side right now. Ryan Hinkle underneath Jay Leach in that number 22. Patrick Colby just getting out front of the 22 in that number 9 teal in gray Ford F-150. Tony Caputo is a lap down, had an incident earlier in the race. But right now, 43 laps in the book, almost a third of the way through this race. 85 laps is what we're expecting the pit window to be tonight as we turn to this battle between Johnny Rapp and Evan Pienta. This is a battle for the 5th position. going on right now. Looks like Evan Pienta just worked his way by Johnny Rapp, who's lost a couple of positions over the course of the race after starting in the 3rd position. I know we've got some Rapp fans in the chat going to be looking to probably see him move up just a little bit. Speaking of moving up, though, let's check out the battle for the lead. Scotty Sobczak has some competition. Now drawing about a car length back, Randy Bechtel. This is a driver out of Pennsylvania who I thought, as we watch him duck to the inside to make a pass for the lead, Randy Bechtel is going to be scored as the leader at the line here on lap number 46 now of 150 for the Stage Break Podcast 150. Bechtel looked like he had it wrapped up last week until Aaron Smith started climbing his way through the field with about 20 laps to go. Made the pass with just 4 laps to go. Randy Bechtel, that driver out of Pennsylvania, we've had seen really some good runs. He struggled last season in the Apex Energy Series in those Xfinity cars, but Randy Bechtel has just managed to put together what's looking like it might be a championship-worthy season. I know he's one of these drivers that I've expected to see in victory lane before this season is out. So Randy Bechtel right now is scored as your leader, and he's not wasting any time. Already about 4 or 5 car lengths up on Scotty Sobczak as he closed the gap pretty quickly. 3rd place right now, Jacob Bradley. I know we got some Jacob Bradley fans watching in the chat. I appreciate the chat, by the way. Let me know that the audio is at least decent right now. Appreciate you guys. As always, Jacob Bradley, last season's champion, up 3 positions after starting 6. Bradley having a really good run in that Jimmy Johnson throwback truck, that number 50 truck right now, looking real good out there at Iowa. Meanwhile, Rye Jones is up 4 positions. He is sitting in 4th currently. Let's see if we can get some other potential. I see some other close action. This Ryan Hinkle, Jay Leach battle has settled down, but now Ryan Hinkle in the number 99 truck, really good run, and it's hard to miss that orange number 99, working his way back up to the bumper of Thomas Coonan, who started 11th. Started 9th rather, he's down to 11th, but has pretty much held station most of the race. Ryan Hinkle, really good run. You can see the difference in lines. Ryan Hinkle working that inside line right now with Thomas Coonan on the outside. If I was in the booth with Chris right now, what I'd probably be asking Chris is, Chris, tell me about what impact running the outside on these tracks can have on those tires. And he would say something to the effect of, well, I don't really know if it's going to matter this race, but it could wear down those right side tires. Carrying a lot more speed, a lot more heat in the tires up top, longer way around, might be a little bit faster. But right now, the 99 seems like he's got the edge on the inside. We're on lap 52 of 150. Coonan just might have driven those tires off a little bit sooner than he would like here, as Ryan Hinkle's going to work his way around for the now 11th position. He did have it that lap. Looking through the rest of the field, see if we can find some close battles to bring you guys. Lee Campbell, good little scrum going back here with Dan Rowe and Jeremy Gardner in that number 5. Lee Campbell definitely hasn't had the luck he would have liked this season. I think he and the front stretch tire barrier at Pocono last week would agree with that statement. Lee Campbell, due to an unfortunate contact with the truck coming off of turn 4, found himself head on into the tire barriers of the entrance of pit road. I can promise you, if that were a real-life truck, I think we'd be visiting Lee in the hospital with a few broken bones, because that was a tough crash. Right now, working his way underneath Dan Rowe, who started 20th, slid back 3 positions, but Lee Campbell doing a pretty good job with a 21st place run. I know we might have some Lee Campbell fans in the chat right now. Let us know who you are rooting for in the chat. As mentioned, we've got that Chase Elliott Patriotic Diecast giveaway going on. All you have to do is let us know you're here in the chat. Let us know who you're rooting for, whether it's your first time or you are a veteran, like folks like Don Hilbrun's in the chat. We got a couple newbies. Connor Lyons, his second race with us. Appreciate him tuning in. Billy Budd also in the chat. We appreciate you tuning in, Billy Budd, to the races. We watched Lee Campbell try to work his way over on that 68 Avidia Bank truck of Dan Rowe. So we'll see what he can offer here if he can work his way into the top 20. Lee Campbell doing a pretty good job right now on that number 14. And through the rest of the field, let's check in with a couple of these drivers. Nick DeCesare running right behind them. His Very Racing Motorsports teammate of Matt Kuntz not too far behind. I believe this is Carolina Hurricanes paint scheme that Nick DeCesare has. I'm not a huge hockey fan. I know they're a hockey team. I believe we're in hockey season right now. If you're in the chat and I'm completely wrong, let us know. But it's a good looking paint scheme right now. Looking that 13 truck's getting a little bit bigger in the back rear view mirror of Nick DeCesare in the 00. Matt Kuntz getting a little bit closer. About 2 car lengths separate the battle for 22nd and 23rd right now between these drivers. Matt Kuntz, Nick DeCesare teammates, they're road racers, and we'll definitely see that on showcase, on display later this season as we head to Sonoma in just a couple of weeks, and then we head to Canadian Tire Motorsports Park later on in the season. 2 road courses on the schedule this season for the Apex Energy Truck Series presented by Hank Thomas Performance. So racing has calmed down a little bit on the track. A couple of close battles. We'll take a quick look at Jay Leach trying to get underneath Thomas Coonan before we head to a quick ad break. Got to hear from our partners who make all of this possible, and they are very patient with us hopefully tonight. I heard a car in the wall. I think that might have been Chris Pierce, who's working his way up 14th, all the way from the 21st position. So we'll watch that number 65 to see if he can add a little bit of spice to this battle. Already spicy for the 12th and 13th position. We'll watch this battle develop a little bit before we head to a quick commercial break before our first set of pit stops tonight. We'll take a bit of a look at the power analysis. We'll go on board with Chris Pierce as we watch this battle right now. Watching just how quickly Chris Pierce jumps to the outside. He worked his way by Leach. Now he's going to try to work his way by Thomas Coonan, that number 86. You can kind of see the relative roll speeds. Looks like Pierce is getting a little bit better entry that time by. We'll see what he's able to do this time by when the telemetry updates just a little bit. Almost neutral on exit, but definitely gaining quite a bit on entry here. You can see that not only by the telemetry data, but you can also see it just visually as we look at that street limit number 86 truck. A different approach for both of these drivers. I think this is something, Chris, if you were here, would definitely be interested to talk about, is the approach. And we watch it. Pierce changes up his line in this corner, jumping down to the inside. And he makes that pass. He's able to clear the number 86. Great job for Pierce in that number 65. Thomas Coonan probably going to try to make one more look at it underneath, but that Apex Energy machine is off to the races. And speaking of Apex Energy, we're going to take a quick ad break, and we're going to hear from Apex Energy. We'll be back on the other end for potentially some live green flag pit stops in the Stage Break podcast. 150 for Slingshot Racing League. Back here at Iowa Speedway for the Stage Break podcast from Slingshot Racing League. Race number 3 on the Apex Energy Truck Series season presented by Hank Thomas Performance. Speaking of Hank Thomas Performance, leading early, started out front, Aaron Smith is down at the bottom of the running order. He is last week's winner, but he had to dip out. I think he might have had some connection issues, some technical difficulties. He is last place, being scored in 33rd right now. Randy Bechtel still scored as your leader. Randy's having to go through some lap traffic here. This is one of the more dicey points in the race for any leaders. We watched Randy Bechtel working his way through at least 2 or 3 lap trucks, and I heard one truck make contact with the wall there, but Randy Bechtel's got a good lead over Scotty Sobczak. Now Jacob Bradley, let's check out that battle. I believe Bradley just made that pass on the inside. Sobczak in the 81, not going to let him go though. We've seen drivers make that outside work all night long. Sobczak doing a pretty good job of hanging tough. He's one of those guys who just makes it difficult to get by. So we can see he is able to steal back that position. Thought Jacob Bradley might have it for a second. They're going to work their way around that number 69 truck of Larry Poling, Slingshot Racing and iRacing veteran. Larry Poling in that U.S. Army Chevy Silverado doing a pretty good job right now. Larry sitting in the 28th position, just working his way around the track, learning as he goes and having a good old Tuesday evening cruise. Right now, Jacob Bradley switches up the lines a little bit here on lap number 72, almost to the halfway point tonight. You can see Bradley really close to the back bumper of Aaron Smith. In fact, let's go ahead and see, or not Aaron Smith, but Scotty Sobczak. Let me go ahead and ride on board real quick with Jacob Bradley, look at a bit of a corner analysis and see what we can tell from the data, what the data is showing us here for Jacob Bradley, who's going to look underneath Scotty Sobczak. I'm curious to see that exit speed, though, and how it compares to Scotty Sobczak. Probably going to get a fresh number here in just a moment. Right now, you can see he's definitely slower than Scotty Sobczak. I think we might even see that number change. You can see it right there, 4 or 5 miles an hour slower out of turn number 4. That is the difference that outside line is making for several of these drivers. I think we might see that extend a little bit here. Not as much. Bradley got a little bit better out of the corner there. So that battle settles down just a little bit.
And Ellis, I'm not sure if the folks at home can hear me.
Let's double check. I might be able to see. Let us know in the chat if you can hear Chris right now. Give us one moment. Go ahead and give me another check real quick, Chris.
Can you hear me?
I think I can hear you, but there might be some...
Okay, good.
Some overlap.
Dawn says that she can hear.
Okay, let us know if there's any feedback coming through on y'all's end on the broadcast right now. We'll try to get Chris in here. I'm assuming the internet might be back up for you. Is that the case?
Well, I thought it was back about 3 times. I've been on the phone with my ISP trying to get this situation resolved, and I think that we're back. Hopefully, fingers crossed now at this point. So everything's looking pretty good on my end right now. But yeah, I'm noticing a few of these drivers right here are. They are trying to navigate this high side of the track, especially down in turns 3 and 4. Is that what you're seeing as well?
Yeah, that's definitely what I'm seeing. Drivers kind of taking different approaches. We saw Chris Pierce mix it up multiple times. I saw Jacob Bradley mixed up a couple times. That's what Josh and I were talking about in the pre-races. Really, it just off of 4 seems to be, I think, off of both corners. It feels a little bit loose just on eyeballing it for me. Yep. We'll hear from some drivers probably post-race. Figure out what's going on. Right now, first set of pit stops, though, underway. Randy Bechtel, your leader, has come to pit road. This is probably going to be the only pit stop. He's determined it's going to be a one-stop race. He's past the halfway point. This is a crucial point for Bechtel if he's going to want to take home the win tonight. We're going to watch him pull to the attention of his crew. Going to see if anyone else is going to follow him down pit road right now. But Randy Bechtel, long pit road, slow pit road. Looks like he gets into his pit stall without any issues. That's going to hand the lead over to Ryan Hinkle, and I think honestly, because I'm only able to focus on one thing at a time, I think we probably saw several drivers actually come in before Randy Bechtel, so my apologies for missing those pit stops. But we'll cycle through here in just a couple of laps and probably be back to normal, but Ryan Hinkle is currently scored as your leader. I think I am going to be curious, Chris, with Randy Bechtel coming in, what does that do for the overall running order? I'm just looking at my telemetry right now. Jacob Bradley's probably going to come out your leader, although Rye Jones, several drivers, Chris, were able to gain a little bit of speed and position on track because they short pitted. They came earlier, they got those fresh tires, and I know that Rye Jones is one of those guys who does that. I've seen Dustin Scruggs just in the 2 races he's raced with us before, is one of those guys who loves to do that as well. Do you think this is a strategy that could be a race-winning strategy?
It possibly could, especially if we get another caution. If this thing goes green for a long period of time, Randy Bechtel, he's waited really, really long to get his new set of tires on, so he's probably going to charge up through the field here. If we get a caution, maybe splitting this in half, that's going to be great for Rye Jones and Dustin Scruggs because they're going to be able to gain a lot of track position. Obviously, I wasn't here for the very beginning and wasn't able to see it, so I'm not sure where they were running in the running order, but this is a big track position gain for them.
They were around the 4th, 5th position, so this is definitely a pickup for both of those drivers right now. They're going to inherit the lead. The 2 cars that have stayed out, Jay Haishman is coming down pit road right now in that 06 golf ball machine. Good run going for Jay. We've seen a lot of speed out of him this season, Chris. Really good to see that driver, the 06, having a good run. Chase Berry is going to inherit the lead now on that pit stop for Haishman. Berry in that number 46 KB's all around auto body shop. That's a good looking paint scheme on Chase Berry's car. And Chris, I am not surprised to see Chase Berry play the long game here and stay out and save those tires and come be one of the last leaders to come down pit road.
Not at all. We've seen Chase Berry do this strategy on multiple occasions. That truck looks really good under the lights. I like that white under the lights. It looks really, really bright, really pops out on the track. So he's not surprised at all to see him take a little bit of a different pit strategy. This track right here, we're going to talk a little bit more about it here as this pit cycle comes to a close. This track's very interesting from a line perspective. You saw drivers, especially at the end of the run, really start to spread out, from the bottom of the track to the top of the track. And that's something I think that you'll see over the course of this run as well. I think the advantage is really, really big down in turns 3 and 4.
This is a battle for the lead while you continue to talk.
Yeah, and as we see right here, Jacob Bradley on a little bit fresher tires here is going to get around Dustin Scruggs, and he's going to take that top spot.
Sorry to interrupt you. I was going to let you keep on talking. I just want to point out to the viewers that this was 4th position.
Yeah, we'll watch Dustin Scruggs down here. He doesn't go as high down in 1 and 2. In fact, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit behind myself. Let me catch up right here. We'll follow along with Jacob Bradley here, but Bradley's going to complete the pass, and here comes Randy Bechtel to the inside. Scruggs doesn't go quite as high down in 1 and 2 as maybe he can down in 3 and 4, and that's because there's a huge bump up in the top lane in the middle of 1 and 2, and it will really, really upset the truck down there. We see Bradley way up the track down here in turns 3 and 4. I think that 3 and 4, you have that better advantage of running up at the top on that end of the track.
Yeah, and you can see the chopper view right now. Randy Bechtel looking a lot faster. I think it might be worth bringing up some of the corner analysis information here just to kind of compare how these 2 lines might be operating around the track. We watch Randy Bechtel running that inside in 3 and 4. Bradley opting to go to the outside. We'll see if they stick with that strategy or if they reverse roles. It looks like they're going to stick with that strategy. That time by, you can see that we're on board with Randy Bechtel right now, looking like he's almost dead even, a little bit faster on entry. Probably has something to do with that inside line.
Yeah, and I think right now at this point in the run, just so soon after pit stops, I think running at the bottom is the way to go to save tires. And I think that maybe at the end of the run, to get speed, you can go up to the top. That gives you options to pass. Also, it gives you options to protect as well, as it's harder to pass a guy who's running up on that top lane as he gets that momentum. As here comes Bechtel to the inside here off of 4, but you see that momentum that Bradley gets on the exit.
Big time momentum right now. Bechtel's got that momentum on the inside, looking to see if he can capitalize on that. Bechtel in that number 51 red and white machine, looking to make a pass on his Payday Racing teammate, Jacob Bradley. They've got a couple of lap cars they're going to have to deal with right out in front, so this isn't going to make it easy, certainly as they work their way by Raymond Hanneman on that street limit number 85, going to get to the outside. But look at that 3-wide battle going on in front of those guys right now. Might be interesting to check out this view with Jacob Bradley looking at in front of him. I think I'm getting a little bit nervous if I'm these two leaders right now, Chris.
Yeah, definitely. But, you know, a lot of these guys are fighting. Man, it's roll up on Scott Tompkins, who has a lot of damage. Seems like I missed some action when I was away. But
I think I
yeah,
missed
you
some
know,
action as well.
Do what?
I think I missed some action as well.
Oh yeah. Well, hey, it's it's a tough job doing that all by yourself.
No, I always have respect for you, but I'm always reminded of how difficult it is. Do you want to go check it out real quick? We might be able to pull up a replay.
Sure. Let's see what if we can see what happened. Oh no!
Not sure. What
Yeah, I'm a little bit
happened to him.
behind.
Oh,
yeah,
he
it looked
just
like
went
he
into the wall.
Yeah, it looked like maybe on exit of pit road, possibly.
Yeah, I'm not even sure.
Or,
yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't know if maybe he had some type of. No, that wasn't even exit of pit road. Yeah, I don't know if that was some type of maybe a hardware issue of some kind. I'm not sure. That was man, really unfortunate for Scott there.
Yeah, it was
As,
definitely unfortunate. Right now, Jacob Bradley just doing his best to hold on to lead.
Yeah, and he's he's trying to put a lap right here on the 14 truck of Lee Campbell. Lee Campbell looks like he has recovered from his injuries last week after that vicious hit into the pit road wall.
Yeah, we mentioned how intense and scary and disturbing that hit is and would have been had it been in real life. So thank goodness we were in the scene.
Yeah, absolutely. And Lee Campbell right here, he's being respectful to the leader. He's giving him room, but man, he's fighting to stay on the lead lap here, and that's what you got to do. He's battling for position right here. Actually, he's not. It looks like Tony Caputo is multiple laps down, but yeah, he's wanting that lucky dog spot.
Wanting that lucky dog spot, doing what he's got to do right now. Meanwhile, battle for the lead. Just a quick recap. We're almost to lap 100. 99 laps now, or 98 laps out of the way here for the Stage Break podcast from the Apex Energy Truck Series presented by Hank Thomas Performance. I'm Ellis Thomas, joined in the broadcast booth by Chris Smith tonight. Right now, Jacob Bradley is your leader. You're watching that battle between him and Randy Bechtel for the lead. Bechtel in that number 51, Bradley in the number 50. Bechtel's going to jump to the inside. They've got a full 2.5 seconds lead right now on third place Rye Jones. So right now these guys just racing amongst themselves. Jones has a handful of Dustin Scruggs as well as Scotty Sobczak right behind him though. So this is a nice little scrum going on for the third position, Chris. We mentioned short track action tonight. There's been action, but I'm surprised we've made it 100 laps caution-free. And maybe everyone's doing me a favor because they knew if there were cautions, it was probably going to cause me even just so much more grief trying to follow all that. So they listened up. They knew the assignment tonight, and we're right now. Rye Jones working his way underneath the lap car of Tony Caputo. Might have got the wall a little bit.
Yeah,
there
they did.
In that number 7, Dustin Scruggs gets by as well as Scotty Sobczak. This right now is a battle for the 5th position. I'm looking back in the 14th position. This is a nice little battle we've got brewing here between Coonan, Danforth, Johnson, and Hinkle. You could throw a blanket over these guys right now. We'll go ahead and see if we can get a better view. You can see how close these guys are right now. This overhead shot kind of gives a great look at those 3 different lines. That how staggered. It's like they did it on perfect. Did it on cue right when we switched to it, Chris. 3 different entries into the corner. 4,
Yeah,
technically.
Yeah, you see Coonan up there on that high side, You know, that's the end right there, I think, where it works. But you watch him down here. Look how much he goes down. Well, he's pretty high down. Here's we got a caution on track.
Oh, yeah, caution is on track. Let's see if we can figure out what that happened. I think
Wesley
that
Pistol,
might have
maybe.
been the 85 and the number 94. We're going to check the replay here. Oh, yep, you can see those two guys just got together.
I think that this is a situation where the 85 does not really go out towards the wall on corner exit like Wesley Pistol was expecting him to go. There's a lot of space between the right side of that 85 truck and the wall. And yeah, I think that Wesley just expected him to take a natural line out there towards that outside retaining wall.
Riding on board right now with Hanneman, and you can see not a good situation if you're that number 94 or 85. But I am curious right now. I'm going to go back on board with the leaders. We are going to see some live green flag pit stops, Chris. You can see right now Bechtel, Bradley, Jones, Scruggs, Sobczak, pretty much everyone, and looking who's on the lead lap is going to be coming down pit road for a pit stop right now.
These drivers right here are getting service, and that long green flag run really did a favors for them, as they are now getting as Jacob Bradley. It looks like he is going to win the race off of pit road. He's going to beat his payday teammate Randy Bechtel off the pit lane, and this puts these drivers in a really good position here. They can go pretty hard here from this point forth.
They can go pretty hard here from this point forth. Speaking of going hard, we all these cars fueled tonight by Hank Thomas Performance. Race car fuel. We're going to go ahead and hear from Hank Thomas Performance, a Sunoco distributor, one of our presenting partners for this series. We'll come back for the restart here momentarily. We'll be right back on the other end of this break.
Hank Thomas Performance is a Sunoco race fuel master distributor located in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Our territory covers North Carolina, Virginia, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, as well as the Panhandle of Florida, providing quality Sunoco race fuel to many track and dealers throughout the region. In addition to Sunoco race fuel, Hank Thomas Performance distributes high-quality methanol and at-track supplies, as well as miscellaneous gas containers and everyday products that the at-track racer wants and needs as they compete at their local asphalt and dirt ovals, plus drag strips. You can reach us at 800-848-HANK, or if you're in our area, come out and visit us at the shop.
All right, we are back here from Iowa, looking like we're going to get set for the restart here in just a moment. There is news. We got an EOL, I believe, for the 94. Race controller Sam Maxwell did put the 94 of Wesley Pistol at fault for that incident. So he's going to be forced to the back of the pack. I think that's going to probably just add a little bit of insult to injury, Chris. Right now, 107 laps in the books out of 150 tonight. We've seen some great racing. Didn't see our first caution until lap 102, maybe? I'm looking at my scoring pylon. Right after lap 100. So lap 104, actually. And it doesn't really matter at this point. We made it over two-thirds of the race without a caution. I think I'm a little bit surprised that we got Don Hilbreth, come on with the corny jokes in the chat right now. Chris, man, you were lucky you missed all the corny jokes in the pre-race tonight. I had them queued up.
Oh shucks, I'm so upset.
Oh no. That was a good one. How long did you have that one loaded up for, ready to go?
I've been thinking about it all day. I'm not gonna lie.
You sicken me. You sicken me. Man, we've got a battle brewing here on lap number 108 here at Iowa. Stage Break Podcast. Check them out. You can find their information in the YouTube video description. Hey, you still got 40 laps left. Let us know you're here in the chat. See if you can win a Chase Elliott diecast, 1/64th scale patriotic diecast. Chase Elliott fans out there, or if you're just a diecast collector, we do this on a fairly regular basis. Type a message in the chat. That's all you have to do to be entered in to win Right now, though, Randy Bechtel's hoping he's entered in to win not the diecast giveaway, but the race tonight. Just 40 laps left. Jacob Bradley is going to be the car that he's going to have to deal with. First, though, he's going to be your leader. Bradley's going to be the control car on the restart. Green flag is back out at Iowa, lap 109. Bradley in that Lowe's machine gets clear out front of Randy Bechtel in the number 51. Bechtel's got Rye Jones and Scotty Sobczak behind him, though. This is a nice little battle we've got going on. Several cars fighting for the top 6 position, fighting for track position. Dustin Scruggs way up there towards the wall, making that outside work. Single file now, sorting themselves out. First top 5, 6. I see James Danforth, great little battle underneath Justin Wilson. Chris, if there was a guy that I would have said I would have been most shocked was not running the top 10 all night, what's going on with Justin Wilson in that number 58 truck?
Man, I think a lot of it's just, the nature of this truck racing. It's very momentum based, and it's very close, and so it's harder to make up ground. It's hard.
Danforth
Wilson
and
Danforth
Wilson come in contact. Wilson's goes by, but Danforth's got to check up, and it looks like that's going to open the door for a 3-wide battle between Pierce and Gardner as they head down into this corner. Man, Johnson and Danforth, heavy contact. Danforth is a pinball right now in the machine of these Apex Energy Truck Series trucks presented by Hank Thomas Performance, Chris. This is getting intense. Action is picking up, but I want to jump back up because the action is even more intense up front. Battle for the lead going on between Randy Bechtel, Jacob Bradley. Bechtel not wasting any time. He wants to get that win. He is probably, I would say, the hungriest driver out there right now, Chris.
Yeah, I'd say so. Man, we got action all over the track. We got cars, trucks everywhere, all over this track. Got 3 wide going on, looks like, between Evan Pienta, Johnny Rapp, and Josh Ward. I think they have kind of settled that. Oh, no, there's still 3 wide. 3 wide in the middle of 3 and 4. Oh, Evan Pienta trying to stick his nose up in the middle of the action there.
Johnny Rapp, that black and orange Mission Barbecue machine on the inside. Evan Pienta in the middle. Josh Ward on the outside. Rapp contact with Pienta. He saves it, gets down to the bottom of the track. Man, I don't know if it was anyone other than Johnny Rapp, that very well might have been a wreck right there.
Yeah, Evan might have been getting sent if Johnny wouldn't have turned left like that. But yeah, they kept it going straight, and they've kind of got it settled out right here. So Pienta is loose off of turn 2.
Pienta is someone that we've seen really. He can handle a looser race car, but he can only handle so much. That's something we've seen him struggle with, especially towards the end of runs when these race cars can change their moods just a little bit. Evan Pienta almost had an incident there. Brought out a caution last week at Pocono, just loose. But, man, we've seen some epic saves from both of those drivers. That right there just a lap ago was one of those. So, man, these guys are getting after it tonight, Chris. Just looking through the times right now, I'm trying to find the closest battles to bring to our viewers right now. Dustin Scruggs, Josh Ward. This right now is a battle for the 5th position.
Yeah, and we got side-by-side action back here in the 12th position between Chris Pierce, Thomas Coonan in the 86, James Danforth looking on as those guys battle side-by-side here off of turn 4. I'm keeping my eyes on the 91 of Rye Jones. I feel like that truck looks really good up on the top. I feel like he's rolling the top better in 3 and 4 than anybody else, and trying to see if he can generate some momentum here. But now he's actually under attack from Scotty Sobczak. This is a battle for the 3rd position.
And you can see, Sobczak's got Dustin Scruggs on the outside. You can see Jones was able to carry that momentum off the corner. Yep. I'm curious to see how that might channel over the course of a couple of laps here. Right now, Jones, I'm looking at lap times. He was faster than Bradley that lap. He was about a 10th slower than Randy Bechtel. Looking at the timing charts that lap, I think that had something probably to do with having Scotty Sobczak to the inside, a little bit of traffic he's working through right now. But, yeah, that number 91 you mentioned, he is looking good. One of the fastest cars, 2nd fastest lap on track that time by. So that number 91 definitely has some speed with just 30 laps to go here. Randy Bechtel is your leader. Jacob Bradley in second place, but Bradley's got his hands full with Rye Jones and Dustin Scruggs. This is going to be a battle, Chris, before you count to 3, because Bradley is seeing that Jones is making that outside work. Let's see if we can ride on board with Rye Jones for a minute. As soon as I say that, he has definitely got a rear view mirror full, however, of... Sorry, got a rear view mirror full of
Dustin Scruggs.
Dustin Scruggs.
Yeah, Dustin Scruggs all over the rear bumper right now of Rye Jones. And you saw Scotty Sobczak trying to make that pass on Jones earlier, and he lost a spot trying to make the pass on the inside. That's something to keep an eye on here. If you cannot clear the guy, you open yourself up to possibly being passed, because that outside lane just has so much forward bite and momentum down the straightaway, especially off of turn 4 down this front stretch. You possibly open yourself up to being passed by more trucks.
Yeah, you definitely open yourself up to being passed by more trucks. Right now, Johnny Rapp coming back to Evan Pienta. Evan Pienta working on the back bumper of Josh Ward. This is an interesting little view on here with Evan Pienta watching the back bumper of Josh Ward. This is a battle for the 6th position right now.
And we got a lot of trucks right here in a very, very small space. Sobczak under pressure from Ward. Ward's got Pienta all over him, and Johnny Rapp has battled back up to Evan Pienta after we saw that nice save that he had off of turn 2 several laps ago.
Yeah, you can see about a car length separating right now. 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. Still green, just 25 laps left here from Iowa. This one's gone by in a hurry, folks. Connor Line says someone is going to make a mistake. Matt D right before that said 3 wide never works. I think absolutely right. Sage advice and wisdom there from both of those drivers. Evan Pienta really loose off the corner there. As soon as we brought the camera on him, man, it's the commentator's curse. Look how hard he drives it into turn 1 there, Chris.
Yeah, he drove it in really, really hard. Trying to watch this. Man, Johnny Rapp is going to charge to the inside right here. I don't know if we got enough laps left. Oh, is Rapp sliding up? I was wondering if he was going to try to do a slide job right there. This track, the way it's working right now at the end of this run, you can see some slide jobs here.
You can definitely see some slide jobs. We've seen a couple over the course of the race, and quite honestly, I don't know. I shouldn't say I'm surprised, but the amount of respect our drivers show each other for the most part, week in and week out. Tonight, I've seen it multiple times where drivers could have just plowed through the back of the car that slid up in front of them, and they lifted, they got off the throttle. So just a testament to how great our drivers are. Checking back with this battle. Right now, just to update you on the lead, Randy Bechtel with about 23 laps left has a half a second lead over Jacob Bradley. Rye Jones holding station in 3rd place, about a second back. But right now, the battle that we're looking at, Dustin Scruggs, Scotty Sobczak, Josh Ward, and Evan Pienta. Scruggs just about half a second up from these guys right now, but this is one of the tightest battles on the track right now. We watch Josh Ward continue to go after these guys.
Looks like Johnny Rapp is really getting some nice momentum off of turn 2. It looks like he's really able to get back in the throttle, keep that truck straight. As Pienta tags the wall. Yeah, Johnny Rapp is he's really got some nice speed on the exit of 2 down here, considering that he is running the bottom now. Now Pienta's going to roll the outside right here, but he doesn't gain a ton of momentum. We'll see if he runs higher down here in 3 and 4, where you have that option. He does. He goes up to that 3rd lane. Comes down just a little bit right there. Man, they get super, super close here off of turn 4. And that's bringing Justin Wilson, the 9th place driver, up into this mix right here. So these guys are really, really pushing each other hard. And while they're doing that, Josh Ward and Scotty Sobczak are kind of pulling away from them a little bit.
Battle's going on track right now. Look at this little scrum between James Danforth, the 06 of Jay Heishman, Jeremy Gardner, Sean Johnson, not too far behind. This is a really good little battle we've got developing here. Almost like synchronized driving there for a moment, looked like. These drivers going into that corner, 2 on the outside, 2 on the inside. Gardner and Haishman. Oh, Gardner!
Ooh,
Gardner
some
has to
contact.
deal with Danforth. Again, it felt like it might have been a slide job. Gardner just had a nose on that blue and yellow 88 machine of James Danforth. Just didn't have it cleared. Had Gardner not done that heads-up driving, Chris, that might have been caution number 2 with just 18 laps left tonight.
Yeah, and Jay Haishman with a heads-up move as well, because Gardner had to squeeze up out of the throttle right there. I think there was a little bit of contact, but Haishman did everything he could to stay off of him and keep these trucks going right there. So a lot of respect shown between these drivers. And yeah, like I said, I haven't been here for the whole race, so I haven't seen. But Jeremy Gardner back here in the 15th position. We're used to seeing that Sim Racing Concepts truck up near the front, so a little bit of a tough night for the driver, the number 5.
Yeah, but he is right now, Gardner, I'm just looking at the telemetry for the driver. He started 23rd, so he's worked his way up 8 positions tonight. This little pack right here is one of the biggest movers of the entire night, Chris. Haishman's moved up 10 after starting 24th. James Danforth started 30th. I really think he's taken that Apex Energy Hard Charger Award very seriously. Right now, he's leading the standings of average positions gained per race. I believe he was at 18 as of last week, Chris. Right now, his gain tonight, 17 positions. So, big night for him in those Apex Energy Hard Charger standings. James Danforth in that blue and yellow Napa machine. Great racing going on all around the track tonight. Not missing anything up front right now. Jacob Bradley back a second now from Randy Bechtel. Chris, it's feeling increasingly like the laps are dwindling. The opportunities are going away for Jacob Bradley if he is going to make hay and catch Randy Bechtel in the closing 15 laps of this race or so.
Yeah, I was going to bring up, Randy is just inching away from him little by little over the course of this run. That time right there, he gained almost a 1/10 of a second. A 1/10 around a 7/8 mile track is pretty big. It's bigger than a track like, Pocono or Indianapolis, one of those big tracks. So, yeah, Randy looks like he's really got the long run speed tonight. Meanwhile, back here in the 7th and 8th positions, Johnny Rapp and Justin Wilson have both cleared Evan Pienta and moved up. It was looking like Wilson was wanting to make a pass on Rapp, but Rapp has sort of opened up the gap again on Wilson. But this is going to be a battle to keep our eyes on here in the closing stages as well.
And these guys are doing a good job. Wilson kind of making the best of a bad situation, starting 13th, gained 5 positions on the night. See who else we could check in with here that we haven't heard much from tonight.
Thomas Coonan is under some pressure right now, also from Chris Pierce. Pierce trying to gain that 11th spot from the driver of the 86, Coonan.
Yeah, we'll go on board with Pierce real quick. Ride this hollow board view developed by Chris Pierce himself.
Himself, yeah.
So making use of his own tools here. You can see, look at the gain he has. That roll speed, you can see that green arrow means good. Green is good for Chris Pierce on the exit of turn number 4. You can see quite a bit of positive energy there.
Yeah, you saw how rough the bump was. Pierce was really high down in 1 and 2. He's rotating the center really well, especially down here in 3 and 4. That's where he gained all of his ground earlier on Coonan. But he rolled right through that bump up high, and man, that really upsets the truck. But he's trying to utilize that momentum. It's hard. It's so hard when that guy in front of you is up there on the top, and it's just really difficult to complete this pass.
Very difficult to complete passes tonight, especially late on in these runs with the different lines drivers can make use of. You're going to see Pierce in the Apex Energy machine duck down to the inside once again to try to make that move on Thomas Coonan in the number 86 truck, who's had a solid run all night long, held station pretty much from his starting position. Thomas Coonan right now will ride on board with him on the outside, kind of see his view. You can see, going to try to get that run, but he just doesn't carry the energy off of turn 4. He's going to give up the 11th position to Pierce, who's trying to work his way into the top 10 after starting 21st on the night, Chris. So solid action going on the track all the way around. Randy Bechtel will check in him real quick. Just 7 laps left for the driver from Pennsylvania, who we thought looked like he was going to win it last week at Pocono. Finished second, home track, looking to make good on that tonight. Running in first, started 4th position, so he's made up a couple of positions over the course of the race. Second is Jacob Bradley, not really gaining any ground. Rye Jones is in the 3rd position. Dustin Scruggs currently 4th. Scotty Sobczak just about 4 or 5 car lengths back from Scruggs. You see him coming into the view right now. He's got Josh Ward about 3 or 4 car lengths behind him. This is one of the closer battles we've got going on track right now. A lot of drivers probably just looking to make it through. I say that, but we've got a great battle here going on for the 13th and 14th position.
Yeah.
James Danforth on the outside, that yellow machine. Patrick Colby in the 9 on the outside. Jay Haishman in the golf ball on the inside of that double, or that 0-6. 3 wide almost through the corner. Patrick Colby in the middle of a Haishman-Danforth sandwich. They're going to settle it out, and cooler heads prevail here on lap number 147 of 150.
Yeah, these guys have been battling really, really hard.
James Danforth and Patrick Colby almost had some contact off of that corner right there. I thought we might have almost had a collision. That 88, Chris, he's been in some hairy situations tonight.
Yes, he's racing really, really hard, and yeah, these guys have been really, really close on speed over the course of this run right here, as Randy Bechtel is inching closer and closer to that checkered flag.
Yeah, Randy Bechtel right now just 2 laps away. The race will be official when we hit that final white flag here in just a moment. He's got to make it to the white. If he doesn't make it to the white without a caution, we will have a green-white checkered. About half a lap away from taking the white flag for the driver, the number 51, Randy Bechtel out of Pennsylvania. He is a slingshot winner, but it's been a minute since he's won a slingshot racing race. I can think at least a couple of seasons. He's poised for a victory and maybe even looking like he's in championship form, Chris. This is the best we've seen that driver, the 51. He's going to have to clear Tony Caputo down the backstretch one more time into turn 3 for Randy Bechtel. Through 4, Randy Bechtel is going to take home win number 1 on the season in the Apex Energy Truck Series presented by Hank Thomas Performance. He wins the Stage Break Podcast 150 from Iowa. Bradley is 2nd. Rye Jones is going to be 3rd. Dustin Scruggs is going to finish 4th. Scotty Sobczak will round out your top 5. Wow. Great race, Chris. Getting some bumps of love from his teammate, Jacob Bradley. I'm sure some other congratulatory victories, celebration, congratulations, whatever you want to say, are in store here. Rye Jones. We're going to watch Randy Bechtel burn it down here on the front stretch for the first time in a couple of seasons. Go ahead.
Yeah, great performance out of Randy tonight. He did a great job all night long. Looked really, really dominant over the second half of this race right here.
Dominant, absolutely. No corny jokes here. Randy Bechtel is your winner here in Iowa. King of the corn. He worked his way through the maze tonight. No, nothing. Yeah, maze, corn. Okay. Dawn Hilburn started that. Yeah. She said it was an amazing race tonight. So,
Dawn's getting in on that too.
She got the jokes tonight. A lot of people had the jokes in the chat. Chris, I think I'm gonna, if it's possible for you to work the Discord tonight, and help me out with that. That might be a little bit easier. So we're going to go ahead, and as we watch the Payday teammates congratulate each other on the front stretch, we're going to go ahead and bring in our top 3 finishers tonight.
And I'm sorry to say, Ellis, that I don't have the capability to do that.
Oh, well. I've got a lot of power, I guess, then.
I guess so, yeah.
Just 1 second, and we'll get that set up. Look there. See if they're already waiting in here, maybe.
Oh, they're not. They're being naughty.
Rye Jones will bring him in. Give me just 1 second. Okay. Maybe. I say give me 1 second. Easier said than done, though. Okay. Rye Jones. This is Ellison Chris in the Slingshot booth. You got a copy, my friend?
Hello, guys.
Well, hopefully you had a less chaotic night than we had in the booth tonight. Single-man show for a little bit, but fortunately Chris was able to join us here just a little while ago, man. Congratulations on the all payday top 3 podium finish. Third place for you. We thought you might have had some speed brewing there in the closing laps, but man, one caution over the course of 150 laps tonight. Definitely more tame than we expected it would be. Kind of talk us through about your experience on the track tonight. I know you started in the 8th position, so you definitely passed some cars as the race went on. Talk to us about what that experience was like out there tonight.
Well, I can't say enough for pretty much everybody that's in this league. To be able to come to Iowa and only have one caution is pretty cool. And I told you guys at the beginning of the season that the track I was looking forward to the most was Iowa. And this was why. It puts on a good show, but if you can make it last long on the green flag runs, it's so much fun to drive. It is like really hard to pass though, the longer the runs. So I got most of my passing done at the very beginning, just to get it out of the way. That first run, I definitely burned up my tires and fell back a little bit. And only chance I kind of had was to pit early. So I pit lap 71, about 3-4 laps earlier than what everybody else was projected to, and caught back up, and then was just kind of hoping for caution at that point, if I wanted to have a chance to win. But, Jacob and Randy, these payday guys are just so fast, and got to give credit to them. And I'll give a little credit to myself because I literally had no time to practice for this. You know how life is sometimes, and to come in and finish third, I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, man, super great run for everyone tonight. You worked your way up, held on to it, and we thought you might be making a run there late in the race, but Randy Randy was on a different level tonight. So congratulations to you. Any shout-outs before we let you go?
Well, you guys always for putting on a good show. I can't wait to see how chaotic it was.
Oh, gosh,
even though
brace
I
yourself.
I like a good replay no matter what. You guys do a good job.
It gets better.
And,
I can promise you it gets better. So just bear with it. Like, if you can make it through the first 15 minutes, it's okay.
We'll do. I appreciate you guys, and I appreciate my payday teammates and everybody that tunes in to watch. It's a lot of fun, so I can't wait for next week.
All right, Rye Jones, third place finisher in that number 91 truck. Congratulations.
Thanks, Alice.
Yes, sir. All right, we're going to go ahead and bring in Jacob Bradley, your second place finisher tonight, into the broadcast booth. Chris, I'll let you take this one away.
All right. Jacob Bradley, our second place finisher. This is Slingshot Booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Hey, man, really solid performance tonight. We saw you there at the end. I didn't get to see the beginning stages of the race, but we saw you there at the end, having some really nice speed, battling right there with your payday teammates. We saw Randy sort of, stand on the gas. It seemed like the second half of that stint right there. What more did you need to try to maintain pace with him there at the end?
Yeah, I'd kind of practice running that kind of top and cutting down line that you saw me run a bit at the end there. And the track started to wear in up top with all the people running it because everybody was starting to run out of tires that first run. If you couldn't turn, you just run up by the fence. So I just couldn't hang with him on the bottom, really. But I would say congratulations. I'm so happy for Randy. I haven't been able to see him win, so glad that he get done. You get a payday racing 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, it was a great performance out of you guys. Talk to us a little bit about that opening run. We went green for a really long time, and what was the track evolution like over the course of the night? You kind of brought it up just a second ago, but did it change a lot over the course of that first run?
A lot of them are on the bottom in the beginning of the race, and I didn't really touch the bottom much, so I can't really tell you how that changed. But I know up top, it started out really grippy. I could kind of turn down in the center just fine, and as the race kind of progressed, you started to lose that grip. It was either going to be tighter as the tires wore or kind of loose in the beginning, and it just kind of played out how it did.
Yeah, man. Well, you were solid all night up there near the front and had a great points night tonight. Any shout-outs that you want to give before we let you go here tonight?
Yeah, I want to thank my payday racing teammates. Obviously, 1, 2, 3, great run. I want to thank sponsors of the league, obviously, Apex and Stage Break for sponsoring the race. I want to thank my family watching, you guys doing the broadcast, and I'm just glad that I was able to finish one of these things.
Yeah, man. Well, you were great all night, really fast, and looking to make a nice rebound here in the points. That's Jacob Bradley, our second place finisher tonight. Go celebrate this win, bud. or
Same.
run.
All right, you heard from Jacob Bradley. Now we're going to hear from Randy Bechtel, tonight's winner. Randy Bechtel, first victory of the season. This is Ellis and Chris in the Slingshot booth. You got a copy, my friend.
Yes, sir.
Wow. Congratulations. We've been waiting for this for a while. I said in pre-race I thought tonight might be your night. You've been close all season long, and you finally did it at Iowa. We saw the evolution of the track kind of change. One caution over the course of the entire evening, 150 laps, great race from all drivers. Talk about what you experienced out there and kind of how your race progressed, any challenges you might have encountered along the way.
Yeah, well, like you said, you've been waiting a while. So I've been waiting a while too. I feel like it wasn't going to come again after, well, I think it was the ARCA series was my last win. So.
Yeah, that's what it was at Daytona, wasn't it?
Rockingham.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And
So,
yeah,
it's been a minute. How does it feel to win?
that feels pretty good. Finally get that monkey off the back.
These things are
I was
hard.
a little bit surprised. Well, tonight I don't know why Aaron had to leave, but I don't know if it would be him. It's hard to beat Aaron anywhere, but other than that, the track got super tight, so like passing people was very, very hard. Even the lap cars. I don't know if you've seen the one time Jacob was trying to get around the lap car after we pitted. He just couldn't get around on the bottom.
Yeah, we did
Psych
notice
was a
that
little tight.
outside could really hang. It could hang a line and really get a run off the corner, and it was difficult to pass no matter who you were trying to pass. So, man, it was tough out there. And you take them how you can get them. You mentioned that Aaron Smith wasn't there tonight. You take the victories how you can get them. So you seized it. You seized your moment tonight. You waited till the very end. I want to talk about that pit stop you made on lap 78 or so. You waited till near the end of that pit cycle. Was that kind of the strategy all along? Did you stick to the original plan?
Knew we were going to pit around halfway, so I know. I think Jacob pitted 75, and Scott pitted, Subzak pitted a lap after. I was like, I don't know if we're going to have to pass Scott again because it's pretty hard to get around him. So I was going to go to 80, but I was like, had a small little detour and pitted 2 laps early, so it worked out where I got right behind Jacob and still ahead of Scott. So.
And you did a good job. You got that 51 in victory lane for the first time in quite a while. We mentioned that, I don't play favorites, but I do like to kind of make predictions of who we think might be championship contenders, and I think you're definitely probably in that discussion. So congratulations on what's been a great season so far. Any shout-outs before we let you go?
Shout out all the Payday teammates. You guys for broadcasting and running Slingshot, of course. Then all the great sponsors, Hank Thomas, Apex. I think Sim Racing Concepts,
UD Awards, Evan Pienta Designs. Man, you were doing a good job. You got the list down. I didn't even need to help you out.
Nobody really cares about Evan. Okay.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah, but man, we appreciate you. We're glad you're back in victory lane. 3 races, 3 winners this season. So it's going to be a tough season. It's going to be an even more unique season with that chase later on in the season. Any strategies that you've got, in terms of how you approach those final 5 races, assuming that you continue your pace and you are kind of in the top 3 or 4 in points when that chase arrives?
Probably just going to do what I always do. See how each race goes. Go from there. I'm not really sure which tracks are in there, but I'm sure they'll be exciting either way.
One race at a time. That's the way to do it, my friend. Randy Bechtel, winner of tonight's Stage Break Podcast 150. Go celebrate with your teammates, my friend.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, so you saw a lot of action on track tonight, folks. Again, apologies for the technical difficulties we had as the race kind of got underway. Looking at some moments from earlier on in the race as we kind of phase out tonight. Maybe I'll try to take a look at some race replays. But If you're joining us right now, we did promise that we would be bringing you a diecast giveaway tonight. We have a winner, and that winner is Billy Bud 333. So Billy Bud, if you are still watching or watching the replay of this, get in contact with us via our social media in the video description. I'm also throwing our email out in the chat right now, ssracingleagues@gmail.com. Connor, we sent your diecast earlier this week, so that should be here. But Billy Bud 333, you are the winner. Get in touch with us for that diecast. You can reach out to us on social media or this email that we just put in the chat. If you're watching right now, we appreciate you sticking around. Go ahead, hit the like button for us real fast. I'm just looking out. We've got 1 like. Help us, just hit the thumbs up. It doesn't even cost you a thing. And if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. It helps us get these drivers in front of more eyes and helps us grow our channel. Helps us bring you more racing and better racing each week. So go ahead and smash that thumbs up button, like the video if you like what you're seeing. Subscribe. We appreciate every single subscription. And folks, thank you for bearing with us throughout the course of the evening. Right now, we're going to go ahead and look at the finishing results for tonight. Let's see if we can get those pulled up on the screen. We can. You can see Randy Bechtel is your winner, Bradley second, Rye Jones third. Scruggs, Sobzaks, Ward, and Rapp felt like they couldn't get away from each other on the track all night, finishing 5th through 8th. Evan Pienta, Chris Pierce bringing up your 9th and 10th, rounding out that top 10. Looking further through the field. Looking further through the field, you can see the rest of the finishers tonight. Jay Leach had a really good run, up 8 positions over the course of the evening. Another big mover, James Danforth, finishing 14th, moved up 16 positions after starting 30th. Sean Johnson also good run. Joined by Jay Haishman, another top 20 for Jay Haishman, that 0-6. Ryan Hinkle finishes in the 17th position. Rounding out your top 20, Chase Berry. Jeremy Gardner just didn't have the speed that we are used to seeing from him over the course of the evening. So we'll be on the lookout for him to be back next week. Just scanning through the rest of the results here. You can see Raymond Hanneman had a fast car early on, but ended up finishing 25th after some issues throughout the race. Wesley Pistol, only caution of the race on lap number 98 involving Wesley Pistol, as well as I believe the other car in that wreck. I'd have to go back and look, but Pistol got the most damage from that after starting in the 13th position. So Thomas Poling Tompkins, who was involved in an early race incident, joined by Caputo, rounding out the top 30. O'Toole Floyd finishes 32nd after having a really good run, starting all the way back in the 16th position, working his way up to 7th before that run went sour earlier on in the race. So 33 drivers started the race tonight, and Randy Bechtel emerges on top of that 33-truck field for his first victory of the season. Fans, can't thank you enough for tuning in tonight. A bit of a difficult broadcast with some technical difficulties. We promise we're going to get it worked out. We keep on having internet connection issues that are out of our control with winter weather and just ISP issues all across the country. We fell victim to that the past couple of weeks. So keep on tuning in. We'll continue to bring you great racing action, hopefully week in and week out. Go ahead and smash that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And Billy Bud 333, get in touch with us. You are the winner of the diecast giveaway tonight. And until next week, folks, I think this is going to do it. Ellis Thomas joined by Chris Smith in the booth. Stage Break Podcast 150. Randy Bechtel is your winner. Go ahead, check out that new Stage Break Podcast episode that's going to be dropping on Friday. Their information is in our YouTube video description. If you want to keep up with the NASCAR season from week to week in short, digestible form, that is the way to do it. Folks, it's been a pleasure from Iowa. We will catch you next week, next Tuesday, 8:30 for the Apex Energy Truck Series presented by Slingshot Racing League.
Are you looking for high-quality, affordable sim racing paint schemes and graphics? Then look no further than Evan at Evan Pienta Designs. Driven by speed, Evan Pienta Designs offers a multitude of sim racing graphics, from liveries to social media graphics to team and series logos. To see some of the work done by Evan, or even race one of the public liveries he's made, head on over to tradingpaints.com and search Evan Pienta.
How's it going, everybody? My name is Josh, and I'm the host of the Stage Break podcast. Each and every week, we cover the NASCAR Cup Series, but we do so in a time frame that you can afford. We talk about major headlines, interesting stories, race and strategy insights that might be helpful to you as you watch the NASCAR Cup races each and every weekend. You can find additional information about the show at thestagebreakpodcast.com. There you'll find links to everything that we have to offer. So what are you waiting for? Be sure to go check it out. Again, my name is Josh, and I'll catch you at the next episode of The Stage Break.